Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Week 4 of Coalition League's Summer Split. I'm Random Minion Casa, and alongside me is Adrit Luna for this series between Glacial, Inferno, and EXNL. Luna, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Good to hear, good to hear. And we've got Glacial Inferno EXNO series to round out the Noxus division streams for today. On the blue side for game one here, it's going to be Glacial Inferno, and they've made some changes to their roster. In the top lane, it's going to be Seamus, new here to the league. In the jungle, their previous top laner, Jesus9. In the mid lane position, it's still going to be Windstorm 0610. New ADC Corpet and new-ish support Phallic Phenom did play for them last week, and facing off against them on the red side here, it's going to be EXNO. And for EXNO in the top lane, they've changed up their roster pretty much completely here, only retaining 2 members, and one of those members in the top lane is going to be Chef Boy 69. In the jungle, newcomer Pillar is Life. In the mid lane, old-time veteran Glub Glub, and for their bot lane, they've got Bears as ADC and Opti for support. So lots of new players here in this series. Now we're going to dive straight into picks and bans here. For bans, Glacial Inferno banning out the Syndra, Graves, Miss Fortune, Lee Sin, and Jax. For EXNO, they're banning out the Yasuo, Jin, Sion, Teemo, and Master Yi. So kind of weird bans there. And then in terms of picks, Glacial Inferno going with Ezreal, Lulu, Echo, Zac, Leona. So double support composition there. EXNO going with the Lovers bot lane, Vladimir, Jarvan, and Zoe. So with all that information there, Luna, what do you think of the pick and ban phase here?
They're pretty interesting. I like Glacial's pick with the Lulu. I'm assuming that's going to be for mid with the Echo going top, just because Lulu's been very strong lately, and that on top of like having the ability to use her ultimate on a Zac or Leona is pretty big. She has a lot of poke potential. She has decent sustainability with her shields. So I'm curious to see how well Windstorm's going to do with it in the mid lane. And EXNL's comp, on the other hand, is terrifying. Because you have, like you said, you have the Lovers bot lane. You have a J4 that can set up easy ganks as early as like level 3. You have a Zoe, which can be huge burst and is really hard to deal with because of her portals. And then a Vladimir. If Vlad gets fed, it might be GG right there.
For sure. So EXNL going to have themselves a very strong win condition in the form of that Vladimir for themselves. And one thing to note is with Windstorm and Seamus being new, Seamus does play quite a bit of a top lane Lulu, so that could potentially go there, even though, as you mentioned, it's really strong in the mid lane currently. And Windstorm does play Echo as well, so maybe it could be that way, or they might just switch lanes completely. We've seen that quite a bit in the last couple of weeks, most notably for Vengeful Reapers, with their mid and top lane often switch lanes quite comfortably. So definitely something that we'll have to see for sure. So in terms of compositions, and which team do you think really won out here? I know that we covered a little bit about what you think is good about both compositions, but if both were to scale into the mid game comfortably, who do you think would really win this one just based off their compositions?
Based off of comp, I think I would give the edge to EXNL, just because, I mean, for example, they have the Vlad, so if need be, they might be able to bait out something from Glacial with the Vladimir, just because of his pool. Again, the burst from Zoe is extremely high, and that super annoying bubble that can put people to sleep is just like, it's going to be very detrimental, I feel like. Whereas Glacial, they do have the Leona, but if she misses her E and she misses her ult, she has to be melee range to be able to get a stun off. Whereas Zoe has that ranged option. Not to mention you have the ability for Rakan to go in and hit his ult and follow that up with knockup, or just Xayah being able to peel for herself with her own ult. So I definitely think I give the edge to EXNL.
For sure. So EXNL looking strong coming out of the picks and bans phase, and now the team are in the Summoner's Rift right now have loaded on, so we can just join them right now, and we'll be able to see how this one's gonna play out once again on the blue side. It's gonna be Glacial Inferno, and it does look like it actually is gonna be Seamus potentially in that top lane with that Lulu there and Windstorm in the mid lane. Again, we'll have to see, because Seamus took the exhaust, and it's Windstorm who took the teleport. So if they do end up sending Windstorm into the mid lane, he's going to be doing it with a teleport, not a combat summoner. And it looks like EXNL expecting an invade here. They've 5-stacked into the bottom side, and that's going to give Jesus the freedom to just roam around their top side jungle here.
Yeah, it's definitely smart for them to anticipate a 5-man, especially with the option of a Lulu and a Leona.
Come on.
So it's a very safe call, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. Even though Leona, very, very strong level 1, with those stuns on fairly short cooldown, if she walks in alone into a bush with 5 people waiting there, despite not having a Vladimir who's not very strong in the early game, they have more than enough damage to burst one person down right away. But unfortunately for them, no one going to walk in on that side. Instead, their top side was warded deeply here, so they will be able to guess where Pillar is life is going to be starting here in the jungle. And it looks like both junglers, once again, as expected, starting just the bot side of the map. And we do see a teleport coming up from Chef Boy into the top lane. He's just going to use it right away to get into lane here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I like that call. I mean, yeah, he doesn't miss any minions because of it, but if he just sort of walks the lane anyways, like, he might have missed, what, 3?
If even that, but instead, yeah, the teleport means that that's one of his summoners down. It wasn't a combat summoner, but Vladimir does have a bit of a rough time in the early game, and he's up against, as he said, a Lulu who's really, really strong in lane recently, so might get bullied out and will not be able to just teleport himself back into lane here.
Right, and I mean, like, ooh, that's interesting. Oh, yeah. Wow.
Quick burst of damage in the mid lane. Gonna bring Windstorm low. Already at level 2, the two mid laners trading aggressively here, and they're both super low. So we'll have to see if ganks come out. Both Zac and Jarvan have good gank patterns at 2. In the bot lane, they've hit 2 as well. And the Lovers bot lane turning the tides onto Leona. Their Phallic Phenom going in, but regretting it a little bit. He's gonna take a big chunk of damage, same as Corpid. And despite Leona being so strong early, that's a Ezreal she's paired with, not known to be the strongest of AD carries in the early game.
Yeah, Ezreal you kind of have to wait for him to scale up when he hits his power spikes from items. And Opti played it really well there by using his Guardian to help mitigate some of that damage, and was very, very patient with the reinitiation by holding on to his dash and his knockup.
Yeah, so they will have to be careful on the side of Glacial Inferno. Attempted gank by Pillar's Life into that mid lane there, but Windstorm playing it carefully, playing it safe, will be perfectly fine. Did take teleport into the mid lane, so even if he does end up being forced out early, will still have the ability to just teleport back into lane once again versus Glove, who did take that defensive barrier. And we do see the sweeper for Jesus being put to good use already, clearing out a ward right away in his jungle, so will help to cut vision of where that blob might go next.
True. But one thing to keep in mind is Windstorm is against Zoe, so Zoe can potentially grab other summoner spells if any are lying around.
For sure, can pick up the teleport, can pick up the flash, can be very, very mobile, definitely valuable and unpredictable, actually. And top lane, Chef Boy getting ganked now as well, brought low by Seamus already. Can they get the pool? He goes into the Sanguine pool, but he's already so low, and that's going to be first blood for Seamus in top lane, bot lane. Zenith Blade re-engages onto Bears, and he's going to get low. The Ignite ticking will just be able to survive. The shield coming out from Opti and the heal as well. And one thing to note, that bot lane for Bears and Opti, they've done something unorthodox with Bears, the ADC being the one to carry the exhaust, and Opti, the support, the one to carry heal here.
See, now, a lot of people think that's a bit unorthodox, but when you think about it, it's actually really smart, because especially with Enchanter supports, they can take the rune to give increased healing. So, I mean, at that point, it just makes sense.
Definitely, and Pillar is Life visiting that bot lane here. Good arcane shift will get Corpet to safety, and Opti under the turret. He dodges out the Zenith Blade there, will be safe, but Pillar is Life and Bear's extremely low here. And now Jesus showing up as well. He's just gonna waltz into lane, looking for the knockup. Can he find it? No, he's looking for the pull instead. Will get that, and Bears might go down here. Instead, it's Phallic Phenom, which is a little too close, just under turret range, and the turret will take Phallic Phenom down to even up the kill score 1-1 here for both teams.
Yeah, that was a very clutch feather pull from Bears there. Being able to toss out enough feathers and pull them back to get that stun.
That was beautiful timing. It was just that one moment where Phallic Phenom just overstepped ever so slightly. If he had done it too early or too late, Phallic would have been perfectly safe. Stunned up, but not dead. And that will give a BF sword over to Bears now. And he's going to come back into lane, be real happy with himself. And for the side of Glacial Inferno, they're going to just rotate straight to the Dragon. It's going to be a Cloud Drake for themselves for their first Drake. Not necessarily the biggest deal. Has to be careful though. Jez is extremely low after taking that one. Will have to base as well. And we do see Corpet potentially getting caught out here. Does he have enough mana? No, he does not, and will get taken down by Pillar is Life. So EXNL able to find something on the back of that Dragon loss.
It was a good call to go and take that Dragon. Ooh.
And top lane, we do see Chef Boy hitting 6. Gonna use that Hema Plague, but the flash is traded for both top laners, and Seamus will be able to get himself to safety for now.
Yeah, very good trades in the top lane. And but again, you know, like while Vladimir has all that healing, Lulu just outranges him. Like, look at this, like,
and out damages him as well. Apparently in these short trades, because Seamus picking himself yet another kill here, and we knew Vladimir's laning phase was going to be weak, but I don't think we were expecting quite this much punishment this early into the game.
True. Brandon, we did originally think that it was going to be into an Echo, which Vladimir does have a better lane against. But, I mean, with Vladimir, it's like, you have to be able to hit stuff to get a decent amount of healing off. And a lot of that comes from just his ult. Whereas Lulu, all she has to do is just point and click on herself, and she gets, like, I believe it's 200 or 300 HP, like, at rank 1 on Wild Growth.
Yep, that'd be 300 base and another 57 from AP. And now in the bot lane, Zenith Blade comes down. Phallic Phenom going in aggressively, and they're targeting Bears once again. They're getting the damage down. They'll find Bears this time. And now Opti has to be careful. Does have the flash and heal available, but gets hit by yet another Zenith Blade. Can they find him here? No, he takes the blast code. He's going to be safe because Jesus will not be able to reach him in time, and now he's going to hug his turret. But that's still a kill going to Glacial Inferno there in the bot lane. And that's a Tear of the Goddess Ezreal killing a BF Sword Xayah. And mid lane as well, action as Windstorm going after Glub. Flashes blown from both, but Glub will be able to remain safe. Still had the barrier as well if that dive was going to continue. And this will allow Pillar is Life to start up, or more like take down the Herald here. And that's going to be huge for the side of EXNL. Jesus diving that turret will get put to sleep under there. The passive still taking, but Glub stepped out a little too far. He got greedy. He wanted to be able to take down Jesus. Will end up giving the kill over to Windstorm instead. Flag and drag from Pillar is Life as he's looking to try and get a piece of this action. Cataclysm coming down. He'll trade his life over for Jesus, and that's both junglers going down. Windstorm the beneficiary of this as he picks a double kill up in that mid lane.
Yo, these rotations this game is crazy. It's like as soon as one fight stops, another one starts.
Definitely, both these teams just wanting to make sure that they don't lose out too much. So as soon as they see a kill go down, everybody just seems to be piling in there to get a piece of the action. And just unfortunate that Glacial seems to be the one winning out a lot of these trades here.
Yeah, and the weird thing about it is, like, usually when you get a case like this, a lot of it feels forced, but that whole segment just kind of flowed really naturally. It's definitely a rare thing to see.
For sure, and I'm liking the aggression that we're seeing here as well from the junglers. Not afraid to dive turrets, not afraid to go find targets. On Saturday, we saw the Silver Division, a lot of dives into turrets, but almost all of them going horribly wrong. And now in the bot lane, they seem to turn onto Opti initially, but they're a little split here, and Bears is able to just plug down damage. the level 6 here for Phallic Phenom. The Solar Flare comes across but will not land. He's too mobile. And now Phallic Phenom has to be careful. Almost getting knocked up under the turret. And says, Opti, they're diving the turret. I said that it was better than Saturday. I am so wrong here. As Opti goes down under the turret. And now Windstorm finally here following after Glub Glub. They find Bears. It's a 2-for-1 thus far. Only the support going down for Glacial Inferno. Can they pick up any more? It doesn't look like it as Glub Glub goes running to the turret. Now top lane, Chef Boy getting knocked up again and again. Welcome to the bouncy castle. He finally gets into his Sanguine pool and will be able to get to safety. But it won't be enough because Seamus had him tagged. And those Glitter Lances will be able to pick up yet another kill for Seamus in that top lane. He's 3-0. Both solo laners here for Glacial Inferno. 3-0, and the action is looking like it might finally stop a little bit because Pillar is live, not going to pull the trigger, and Glub Glub just going to farm up as well.
Oh man, so out of all that, I really liked how Jess went top for the counter gate once there was pressure bot side, and it's like he knows he can't get there in time, right? So he immediately goes top to even out the pressure across the map. And it, in a way, just kind of did a full map reset for both teams.
Yeah, it worked really, really well. It's definitely effective. And the Scuttle gets stolen here by Pillar's Life. Patient plays sitting in the bush. He gets himself the Scuttle. And now Glacial Inferno starting up a Dragon, knowing full well that the bulk of EXNL is around. The Sleepy Bubble gonna land on Windstorm. He does have the Chrono Break available, and a full-on fight has broken up. Teleport coming in from Chef Boy. Opti, the first target, as Seamus gonna fight him. Chrono Break from Windstorm to buy time, but he still has Hemoplague turning down on him. They do secure the Dragon in the midst of that. It's Phallic Phenom picking that one up. Pillar is live now, stuck in there. But is he stuck in there, or are they stuck with him? He goes down right away. And now Chef Boy able to try and find damage, but can't get the kill credit. He's looking for Seamus. That's a 300 gold bounty if they can find him, but a good flash will keep Seamus safe for now. At the end of that, it's going to be a 2-for-2. Not a lot of people going down there, but it is the Dragon Ocean Drake going the way of Glacial Inferno.
Yeah, very, very clean plays by Glacial. They were able to keep it cool, keep collected, and they were still able to get that. Although initially they kind of got picked off there, it started to look really bad for them.
Yeah, and as you said, just a testament to their skill that they turned what looked like such a bad match initially. Looking like they were the ones getting caught out. Now Drowsy being landed onto Windstorm again. He's going to take damage back, but he's gone so much onto Glub Glub, forcing a flash out of Glub Glub there, but it's just a picked up flash. So Glub Glub will still be fairly safe. His own flash should be coming off cooldown soon. Herald did get dropped all the way back in base here, but they've escorted it successfully. Now Jezis getting sleepy, but Phallic Phenom going in. He's solo right now. He had no backup. Solar Flare catches too, but they will not be able to find any kills. Instead, they just turn back, try and take the Herald down, and they just end up losing 2 plates in the mid lane, but not much more.
Yeah, they only lose 2 plates, but they also kind of, I mean, they lose Leona ult for next fight. And at early ranks, it's a pretty decent cooldown. So, I'm not sure if that was just a bit of miscommunication, or if that was intentional just for the stall, so the rest of the team could deal with Shelly. I'm not sure. But either way, they're at least able to keep the damage to a minimum.
Yeah, definitely mitigating that use of the Herald there for now, and this will buy them a bit of time to skill up as well. Bot lane, the Feather's going to root Phallic Phenom up, but he's still fairly healthy, will be fine. Looks like Bears and Opti going to base now. They didn't want to stick around, didn't feel safe, and they might have also seen Windstorm here in the jungle. They've warded the river up pretty heavily for EXNL here, so should be able to spot out ganks. And Windstorm now might be in trouble. The Flag and Drag coming across, and Pillar's Life gets the Scuttle once again here on the bot side. Well played from him. EXNL just exerting their pressure and control on the Scuttle in near the Drake pit there.
Yeah, definitely good steals.
And a good tag on that Sleepy. Gonna chunk about 50% of Windstorm's health there. He's gotta be careful. Those long range snipes from Glub Glub doing work right now.
Yeah, and that just goes to show what I was saying earlier. Is like, yeah, Echo is also really strong, but I mean, the burst from a Zoe, like even at just Lost Chapter and Last One,
Yeah, and she's diving deep after Windstorm. The electrocute comes out. He does have Chrono Break, looking for the redemption kill. Will not find it. He flashed away, did not use the Chrono Break instead. Interesting choice to burn that summoner, but it does keep him alive and does keep that 300 gold bounty safe on his head.
Yeah, that was, I don't know. I feel like he might not have died to the redemption. I feel like he might have been like, he would have been super low, don't get me wrong. But he might not have had to do either.
Oh, and a beautiful stun here to interrupt the dash away from Opti. Opti gonna go down. Bear's now being the target, but top lane we see action as well as Seamus getting dragged into the Cataclysm. Does not have Wild Growth available. Will get shut down by Pillar's Life. That's a 400 gold bounty going over, and Jez's as well. Gonna get shut down at 2 for 0. Great gank here from Pillar is Life. And a great survival play from Chef Boy to buy time for his jungler to get there. And that basically brings EXNL almost back to dead even here with Glacial Inferno. Only a couple hundred gold. Actually, yeah, only about 500 gold, setting the two teams apart right now. So really good comeback from EXNL thus far.
Yeah, this is definitely turned out to be a very, very close game. I'm curious to see who's going to be able to... Oh, that damage is just disgusting, I swear.
Yeah, Winston having trouble for sure.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be interesting to see who's going to find the next foothold to really try to break into the next phase of the game.
Yeah, because originally it did look like Glacial Inferno was controlling their lanes really well. They were the ones to get kill pressure in lanes, get bounties, and then after that we did see them also secure both dragons here. But so far, EXNL firing back, and if we look at the second part of this laning phase thus far, we do see that most of their lanes have clawed back. In fact, in the mid lane, Glove absolutely dominating here. And we do see the dive coming in from Windstorm. Will not be able to tag the damage. Instead, will get collapsed on as Seamus does a good roam into the mid lane. Jez is collapsing from the other side. They pick Glove off, and that's going to be Inferno available, and potentially going to be given over the way of Glacial Inferno as they started up.
Yeah, that is definitely the one major downside to Zoe is if you do somehow get caught, Zoe is, I believe, the second squishiest champion in the game, with Yuumi being the squishiest. So, I mean, if you get caught, 9 times out of 10, you're probably dead.
For sure. A good adaptation from EXNL here. They lost the dragon and they instantly dropped the herald, get themselves the mid lane turret here. So first turret going to go the way of EXNL, and that puts them for a couple of seconds there ahead of Glacial Inferno, but now they are back to dead even. But that's still 3 Drakes for Glacial Inferno, and in about 4.5 minutes we could see them get a very, very early soul here.
That's very possible. But it will also be interesting to see if EXNL is going to be able to... Hold on. Sorry, I had a phone call apparently. But it's going to be interesting to see if EXNL is going to be able to turn us around quickly, or if they drag it out and they pick up 4 Infernal Soul for themselves.
Definitely, then they will have to start contesting these souls. They cannot afford to give another one over. If they do manage to indeed get that 4 Infernal Souls, as you said, their damage will go through the roof, and that's with the Vladimir and the Zaya as well, who both can do a ton of damage in the late game. And we do see what looks like a stack into the bot side right now. All 4 members here from EXNL, only the Vladimir missing, but Vladimir does have the teleport, and now it's going to be Phallic Phenom caught up by the Drowsy, but they whiff the follow-up damage. So Phallic Phenom going to be A-OK after taking a short nap there, and it's a 4v3 in the bot lane, because Jesus is hovering topside right now. He isn't going for the dive though. He has gone back to base, and yeah, EXNL just looking to siege up this bot side.
Yeah, especially because right now I don't think Glacial has any idea that Pillar's Life is in the area.
Yeah, and just if we say that, of course, Pillar's Life goes back to base as well. They've decided to stop for now, and they've just reset, it looks like, gone back to the lane. So a bit of an interesting game here. We're used to seeing in the gold divisions a lot, when one team finds a lead, they start pushing everything, looking for objectives. But right now, with the Drakes down, with the Heralds down, both teams seeming to be content to just go back and farm up their lanes rather than trying to push any towers here.
Yeah, everything's just kind of been frozen in the middle of the map. It's definitely not something that you see very often in games at this elo.
For sure, and with the Herald coming up in about 10 seconds, that sort of freeze we're seeing, that equilibrium might be broken here. There is no scuttle available, pardon me, on the top side, so it's just whatever vision each team can put down there. There's a ward here about to expire in the pixel bush on the top side. Same for EXNL, they have very little, they have no vision in the top side either, and Chef Boy did just go back to base as well. Now bot side, we do see the two duo lanes just sort of trading off at it. There has been sort of a decrease in aggression from Phenom in that bot side for the last little while, and a lot of attention also from all the various lanes down mid lane. We can see the poke back and forth. They both do so much damage. Windstorm going in, chunks Glove for about half his health, but the return fire brings Windstorm dangerously low. Pillar is life, was waiting in the wings, but Windstorm just going to back off, and he's slowly hemorrhaging now. He's almost 50 CS down from Glub here, and that's going to make a huge goal difference. That surprisingly is actually not as big as I thought it was, because he does have a bunch of kills, but if not for those kills, he would be down a significant amount of gold right now.
And speaking of hemorrhaging, if we look at top, I mean, we can see Vladimir's just under, like, what, 3 CS from the Lulu, so very well done by him to be able to keep up and creep. Not to mention, in the early game, Lulu definitely has the edge, but as the game drags on, she's going to stop being able to put out so much damage to him, just because of how tanky Vladimir can get.
For sure, now gank into the bot side, but they are getting counter gank because Glove was coming and on his way. Will be able to get away, is kind of low, and the charm coming out from Opti. Solar Flare comes across now. Will stop Pillar is live for a little bit. Chef Boy has teleported in, joined the rest of the fight. It's becoming chaotic. Cataclysm comes down. They block Phallic Phenom and Windstorm going aggressively in. Cannot seem to find Glove. Will go down before he can chrono breaks back out, and he's the only one going down so far. Phallic Phenom somehow surviving through all of this, walked away with about 20 health there. Corporate forced back as well, and this should be a free turret for the side of EXNL. They lost the top side though. Seamus managing to run his wave in, so they've lost one there, and they are going to rotate now for that Drake, and this one should be EXNL's Drake here, and they might start their Inferno stacking with this.
Yeah, that was a very impressive team fight amidst all the cast.
And Bears does manage to secure the Dragon just barely here. Pillar is live, did not smite. They will pick up Jez's as well, a freebie here as he dove in, trying to get that drive-by smite. Did smite a little too early, will not be able to get anything there for himself. And that is the first Inferno Drake for EXNL. They stop the soul for now, and it starts looking like they're scaling up. Their composition starting to come online, and they're up in the lead by about 1,000 gold.
Yeah, it's definitely well played by EXNL to be able to just keep calm and at least keep the game even, although they were giving so many kills away earlier.
For sure, and to be fair, they've also been the team to be sort of making a lot of proactive moves right now. Jezis is going all around the map. He was one to set up that gank in that bot lane to start things up, but it was both Glove and Pillar's life from EXNL. Their rotations here, they've got the mid lane rotating along with their jungler as well, and that's only going to become more and more potent as more and more turrets go down here as well.
For sure. And one thing I'm kind of curious about is why Jess decided to try to go for the drive-by skill by jumping directly into the pit instead of just jumping directly over it to get that temporary vision and land the smite then.
And some things we just won't ever really get to know, I suppose, but perhaps he'll try and do it next time if he is forced into that position, because definitely jumping to the pit did not work out well for him at all. And the chunk coming down onto Windstorm as well. Windstorm spending most of this game low on health. The Ocean Drake is helpful for it. They do manage to land the knock-up onto Glove, but now Windstorm going in, getting caught out. He's not had a good game. He cannot seem to find the chrono breaks in time. That's the second time where he gets just popped before he can pop his ultimate in return.
Yeah, again, just that Zoe damage is just nasty.
For sure, and another bit of a fight breaking out here. The True Shot Barrage coming across will not find Glove. Instead, we do see now Chef Boy in deep, and they do manage to find Jesus on the back of that. Bear starting to pop off. He finds Phallic Phenom as well, and they get a triple kill as Seamus did. That's a 4-0 right now for EXNL. They're starting to pull themselves back up.
Yeah, that fight was extremely well played by EXNL. Like, it was definitely a razor's edge fight. Like, one wrong move and that fight would have went in the favor of Glacial.
Yeah, and you can see how low they are after that. Like, they were just juggling the aggro so well there among all of themselves. And now Glove has to be careful. Is going to get hunted down by Windstorm, but this movement speed boost is good. Glove looking, he's going to be able to get away. Nope. Hop, skip, and a flash to finally shut him down. And now it's Pillar is Life who's running, and Windstorm having none of it. He's sick of being killed, and he wants to find some kills of his own. Managed to pick up a double kill here. Now Chef Boy and Bear's able to just run away. Will be safe for now. And what is Glacial Inferno going to do to answer? Because they've found some kills, but they're just wandering around.
Right now, it looks like they're just going to clear out vision and potentially go for Baron. Yep.
They've started up. It's 26 minute, and Baron is in the eyes here of Glacial Inferno. In terms of vision, the blue trinket comes down. They're going to know now that it's being done, but they have no other vision. Opti being forced out by Seamus here, and that means they will no longer be able to see into the pit. And Windstorm here as well, looking for more kills. They're just denying and buying time. That Bear taking a long time to go down. Finally down to about 5,000 health, 3,000 now. And will they be able to burst it? They should be able to, because EXNL responding very slowly here. They just gave that one to Glacial Inferno.
Yeah, I think that because of how well EXNL was zoned out, because, okay, they had people that were on the bottom side of the map that was pushing bot. Pillar was still respawning. But Pillar was down for most of that Baron encounter. And with both Seamus and Windstorm being in the jungle to help deter any thoughts of people trying to jump in, like, it just secured the Baron really easily.
And now the two tanks from the side of Glacial Inferno are getting caught out. Seamus also getting hit. The wild growth comes up, but it might be too little, too late. Doesn't have enough resistances. And that's Seamus going down in that fight. Now Hemoplate coming across, only catches two. The slingshot from Zach, and he's in the midst of the fight, but it's going to be Phallic Phenom diving in. They do somehow get Chef Boy down. Windstorm getting the kill on that. He's 6-2 and 2 now. Has the Lich Bane, but they still lose 2-1, and that's going to put EXNL up ahead in this fight, despite having the Baron, but despite winning the last fight. Glacial Inferno gonna lose the Dragon here. It's been pulled out, and Jesus is sat on a ward. He's trying to clear the ward. Will not opt for the Dragon at the end of the day. They had no vision, did not feel like going in blind, and that's now 2 Inferno Drakes for EXNL as they even up the kill score here.
Yeah, very solid picks by EXNL. I feel like they played the team fight out very well, forcing people away, and then yeah, just using that momentum to be able to secure the Dragon was, I mean, it's textbook.
Textbook indeed, and I just want to take a look at the build paths here. For both the teams. Seamus, I've not seen a lot of this AP. It looks like a support Lulu, the Mikhail's Crucible, the Luden's Echo, and a Chalice being built here from this Seamus. Is this, what are your thoughts on that, Luna?
It is definitely a little bit more towards like a traditional support with the Mikhail's and going for the Unholy Grail. But the Luden's was definitely, it looks like it was rushed. And you wouldn't normally get a Dark Seal either on a Lulu, so it's definitely an interesting build. I do like the call for the Grail just because it does put out a surprising amount of damage. And since Lulu's ult does count as a heal, she does still get a lot of use out of it on top of her shields. So I don't know, I think it's a pretty solid build.
For sure, and I suppose they're just trying to support the ADC there, the Ezreal perhaps. And bot lane, that's the second turret Windstorm managed to find there. He will get shut down. The burst coming up from Bears was disgusting. He's 8-3 and 3. You cannot underestimate his damage. And now Pillar's Life looking for that engage, knowing that they have a numbers advantage. Cataclysm comes out, will trap Phallic Phenom as well as Seamus. And the Hemo Plague as well. Seamus is low, but will be able to flash away. Phallic Phenom not so lucky, did go down in the midst of that. And now Jez is coming in, will miss the slingshot, is going to keep chasing, but there's just not enough damage. Not enough tank either when he gets collapsed by 4. And now Bear's going godlike here off of Jez's dead cold body.
Yeah, that was that was just very, very nasty fight.
Yeah, I don't think Jesus should have gone in after that, and now they do manage to catch out Seamus, but really, is it Seamus who got caught out or Opti there? Because it's Opti who's ending up dead after that, and this might stop the push for now from EXNL.
Yeah, because, I mean, again, it's just like, you know,
hold that thought, because Windstorm looking for the flank, he's running in with the teleport, has a lot of damage, he's going to run right past Pillar's Life, going for Glub instead. And we do see Corpit finding Bears, shutting down. That's a 700 gold bounty, huge. A beautiful stopwatch hourglass there to dodge out on the stun. And now Pillar's Life is the target. Nope, Windstorm's still going to run right past. He's focused, tunneled here on Glub. Can he land the stun? No, but he can pick up the kill, that last auto before the stun, the sleepy bubble connects. And Corpit now suddenly going godlike in that last fight as he takes down the tank that is Pillar's Life.
Yeah, that was, so in most cases, people will probably be like, yo, Windstorm, what are you doing? But with as much damage as Glub's been putting out on Zoe, I think I actually really like the call to chase Zoe down, especially since he's on Echo, which is one of the champions that would be able to do so.
For sure. I mean, he is an assassin. Assassin's got to assassinate rather than trying to take down that tanky Jarvan, who, by the way, built Gargoyle's Stoneplate, Warmogs, and Cinderhulk sitting on the Kindle Gem as well. He's going 100% tank, no damage whatsoever in this build. Rather than wasting time on that, it certainly made more sense to go for the squishy Zoe instead. And suddenly, Glacial Inferno swinging things their way. It looks like they're now the ones in the driver's seat. What a back and forth game.
Yeah, it's definitely, like, at this point, I think it's still anyone's game. Like, I think whoever is going to get the crucial picks will be the winner at this point. Because really, both teams are able to do so.
Yeah, and really, it wasn't something that you kind of expected coming into this matchup. EXNOL right now, sitting at the top of the table, before this game had won all 3 of their previous series, whereas Glacial Inferno, they're literally on the opposite end of the spectrum. They're still hunting for their first win, first series win here, so not expecting it to be so close. And I'm liking a lot the changes that they've made because it's working out for them. Now the stun onto Glub. They found him. The Zenith Blade will not be able to connect because he was stunned up. They're going to trade Jez's for Glub, and they now have Pillar's Life grabbing Corpit into the Cataclysm with him. But he's not able to do any damage. Corpit's able to keep up with that Death Dance. They take him down, and they found Bears in the backline. Windstorm starting to pop people, finds both the bot laners, Bears and Opti. That's a double kill. That's almost an ace there. As only Chef Boy still left alive, but he's alone on the side. What can he do? Nothing, apparently, because Windstorm is going to be the one to chase him down. And Windstorm, really, really strong. 9-3 and 4 right now. Going to ignore the Hemo play. Going to keep on going. Does not need the Morelos, just looking for damage. And Chef Boy putting out the heals, though. Sheamus showing up as well. Will just keep Windstorm alive. And that's finally the very, very delayed ace. They picked themselves up the Infernal Soul. And it looks like they're just going to reset.
Yeah, it was definitely a very, very clutch fight from Glacial. I liked how they were just able to single out everyone. I mean, at this point, Corpit, like, his damage is disgusting. He's, like you said, he's got Death Stance, he's got a Triforce. It doesn't matter how tanky J4 gets at this point. He can deal with it. And that helped secure Infernal Soul for them, which is massive. That should, I feel like that could be the thing that turns the tide. Because we're getting to long respawns as well, so one bad team fight could be the game.
For sure, and we both see both teams sort of eyeing that barren area. A lot of vision being cut out here from the side of EXNL. They can't really see well into the pit. So they have to be careful, and looks like they're just going to have to back off for now, but both teams are preparing for this. Chef Boy being called from that bot lane. He doesn't have teleport available, and their mid turret is taking a ton of damage here. The solar flare comes across, will not find it, but Pillar is live, more than happy to deliver himself into the midst of it. Opti getting a beautiful 5-man ultimate. They've changed that into the Cataclysm. There will be enough. The Wild Growth is going to keep Windstorm alive for now, and they're firing back with the damage. And Windstorm able to pick up a double kill. Corpet going legendary. Chef Boy going to use the Zonius or the stopwatch, but that's just going to buy him a bit of time. Will get popped now. It's only Glub Glub left alive. Seamus flashing in, and that will be enough for Corpet to find the ace for the team, and this could be the game here.
Yeah, it literally is just what I was saying. Like, the next person up for EXNL is going to be Opti in 15, and then behind that it's their tank. They don't have any damage coming up anytime soon.
Yeah, without the damage, they can't clear the minions effectively. They can't clear the minions, then they can keep on pushing. And that's one of the Nexus turrets down already. The second gonna be down just as Opti spawns. And then Nexus just getting shredded. Solarflare comes across, the Charm trying to land. Will not find anything, and that's gonna be game here. Game 1 going to Glacial Inferno with a amazingly brutal start here. 30-20, and they just slam EXNL despite a rough early game.
Yeah, that was massive. Because, like, so with how that fight went, even if EXNL or if Glacial had only gotten like 1 or 2 kills off that, because of top and mid being so pushed in, they could have immediately just went on Baron and still came out on top of that whole thing. Instead, they get the ace, and then they go take the base.
Yep, exactly as you called it. The ace means base here as they just push right in. They weren't messing around, didn't need to at all. And Windstorm, despite a rough early game, ends the game 13-3-5 here. And Corpet only going down once, 10-1-8. That Ezreal not suffering at all from the Conqueror or Death Dance nerfs. And for the side of EXNL here, Bears putting up some spectacular numbers of his own, 10-6-3, despite his team losing here, did output an amazing amount of damage. And now going into game 2, Luna, what do you think EXNL is going to need to change to answer back here in the series?
It's, you know, I'm not entirely certain, because I feel like they didn't have enough answers for Glacial, like, in general, just because, like, I mean, yeah, they had damage, but they didn't really have that much of a front line, I feel like. Like, they had the J4, but, I mean, Vladimir, he can frontline, but it's not ideal. You want him to be more like an off tank. Same with Rakan. Like, Rakan's definitely one of the weirdest ones because he's more of an in and out type of support. So it's just like, I don't know, man. It's like, I just feel like Glacial made all the right plays that they could when they needed to be able to get the right people ahead at the right points in the game.
For sure, you heard it here, ladies and gents. Glacial Inferno really the one to win that game rather than EXNL having issues. EXNL did what they had to do in the picks and bans, and it just came down to Glacial seeming to have their number here on the Rift. So going to game 2, hopefully EXNL can reset and try and find a way, find a weakness, find something, anything on the side of Glacial Inferno that they can sort of pick on and crack apart. And with that, we are going to head into a short intermission break while we prepare for game 2. Stick around and we'll see you soon.